side into the river. We'll zoom back out. Again, that's the area that we're concerned about. There's the Feather River. Anytime that water gets above the banks, it's going to go into the lowest lying area. So you're going to have that water spreading out from the river. Flash flood warning again still through 4:15 tomorrow. We also have a flood warning in place for all areas shaded in green. That goes through 9:15 tomorrow, and that's due to all that runoff coming down from the higher elevations. Still plenty of rain, even snow melt. Now let's take a look at this. I just put this graphic together here in the last 5 to 10 minutes. Everywhere you see a dot, that is what we call a snow-tell site. It is an automated site in the mountains that tracks the liquid equivalent of the snowpack. Look at this one right here at Pilot Peak. This is an elevation of about 6,800 feet, and that has 48 inches of liquid equivalent stored in that snowpack right now. Bucks Lake at an elevation of about 5,700 feet has about 37 inches of liquid equivalent stored. Of course, this doesn't usually peak until right around April 1st, and then it slowly starts to melt out all the way through the spring and into the summer season. So even with rain falling on top of it, you're not going to lose all of that at once. You can even get some of that rain that gets soaked up into that snowpack, but even with some of these warm storms coming in, you still lose a little bit of that snowpack, so you still have a huge concern with all that runoff. There's a look at Precision Cast. We'll head all the way into this upcoming Wednesday. Again, we're tracking dry weather through the day tomorrow, through the day on Tuesday, and even into Wednesday afternoon. Most of the rain staying off to the west of the Oroville drainage area, but we'll start to see a little bit more of that rain approaching by 4 o'clock on Wednesday afternoon. If you look further off to the west, there's the main cold front. That's still offshore, and that's where you're going to find the heaviest rain. Another thing you'll notice with Precision Cast, not seeing a whole lot of snow. We've got a warm air mass in place, so we're tracking some pretty high snow levels through the day on Wednesday with any of that precipitation moving in. But as that cold front moves in on Thursday, that will have some colder air moving in from out of the northwest, so that will help to drop those snow levels. So that's some good news, because if it's falling in the form of snow, it doesn't run off. It gets stored in the mountains. Of course, that'll be a problem later on in the season as it does start to melt, but at this point, we want that precipitation stored in the mountains in the form of snow. That's the cold front. Again, this is Thursday morning. That cold front starts to move off to the east and southeast, and then we start to look off to the west towards our next storm system. Most of our forecast models are showing that the worst of this storm system actually staying off to our south, closer to central and southern California, but you'll notice we're on the northern edge, so we're still getting a little bit of that precipitation from that system on Friday. And then heading into this weekend, it looks like another cold front will move in. If you look off to the west, we've got a big wave train of storm systems. The jet stream is almost directly west to east going over the Pacific. So anything that's out there eventually gets grabbed by the jet stream and tossed right into California. This is from the California-Nevada River Forecasting Center. I typically usually do my own precipitation forecast, but I just wanted to get something up on screen so you could see it. Their forecast, where you see the orange in the Oroville drainage, that's about 2 to 3 inches of liquid equivalent. Of course, some of this comes in the form of snow. And then where you see the red right there, that is 3 to 4 inches of liquid equivalent. So if you head into the lower elevations, that's mainly all rain. So that eventually works its way into Lake Oroville. Threat tracker through the next few days, very concerned about, of course, the emergency spillway at Lake Oroville, but also the Sacramento River. Right now at Shasta and Keswick dams, they're releasing about 70,000 cubic feet per second. There are low-lying parts of Redding that are underwater right now. If you head all the way down through the Sacramento River into Tehama County and then right on the Glen Butte County line, also seeing very high river levels. So
thank you very much, Rob.
Yeah, we are standing by waiting for a press conference, which is going to take place in about 30 minutes over at the Lake Oroville Visitor Center by the Department of Water Resources to give us the very latest information, and probably Corey Honey, the sheriff, will be there. We'll also have a live report from Taylor Torregano, who's been covering this story from the get-go, from day one, when that whole we first saw it back, I guess it's just been a few days ago, back on Wednesday. But we're going to take a break right now. We'll have all of that right after this.
9 hotels that were all full at this point. And I know Ben Deasy had been talking about the helicopters dropping the rocks on the spillway. We just got word from Sac Metro Fire tonight that they have deployed their helicopter to assist in that situation. Again, picking up large rocks, boulders, dumping them onto the spillway to help the water flow, help slow down the water flow anyway. That's the latest from the newsroom. Mark Dembski, we'll send it back to you.
All right, Mark, thank you. Just got another update from Marysville Police. Again, we've been monitoring the traffic as evacuees are trying to leave that area. What we're hearing now is that if anyone's unable to leave the area, can't make it out, you can make your way to Habitat for Humanity. It's on
next extreme, and that's why the flash flood warning is in effect for portions of Butte County. Threat tracker, I went ahead through Monday. I kept it in a medium because of the potential for flooding. We're going to keep an eye even for Tuesday. We might have to elevate that depending on how quickly water levels may or may not subside. But all attention afterwards is going to switch back into Wednesday. Even though we're seeing a break right now, there's a whole nother system set up, and it's going to be working its way in late Wednesday, and it could bring another round of very unsettled weather pattern, not only to finish the work week, but heading into the weekend as well. So there's just going to be a lot more water potentially working its way into Lake Oroville, which could continue to keep the situation at a danger level for a little bit of extra time. Sounds like Jerry has a latest update. We're going to go ahead and send things back over to him.
Thank you so much. Just came in. We want to mention this. Evacuations have been extended south.
Going towards Chico isn't the best move for everybody. For some, it's go east, go up the hill. If you're higher than the elevation of the dam, you're going to be in a good place. So if you're on the east side of Oroville, Palermo, Hogcut, Bangor, any of that, just go up the hill. And if you're maybe in Gridley or Biggs, you could consider going west on 162, just go west towards Calusa. If you get across a couple of those levees, you know, past the Cherokee, View Creek, all that, you know, whatever. I mean, if this comes to the worst, okay? I mean, people just need to keep cool. I've heard stories about crazy driving in traffic. You know, an orderly thing is going to work better for everybody, so we don't have emergencies on top of emergencies. So, but you know, I'm hearing the same thing back in the day, and so they have a role in this. So the federal government will have a role, and we'll be sure to push that as soon as we can. We'll be getting the word to President Trump that you need the funding back in the day, help us with this declaration and whatever it's going to take here. So we.
By the time I got to the reservoir, there was already quite a bit of aircraft traffic in the area, so I elected to stay high. This is about 3,000 feet, and I'm shooting with the GoPro Hero 5 camera, so it's a pretty wide-angle view of what's
I do need to
going on
ask
here.
So
at the top of the picture is Oroville Dam. Next is the spillway, and you can see the broken section now about halfway down the spillway where the water's all turbulent, and I'm just crossing over right in between the struts there, the wing struts, is the emergency spillway that as of this time is not yet spilling over.
Bill Conley.
All this water feeds into this brown river, the Thermalito Diversion Bay at the base of the dam. And the Thermalito Diversion Bay has another dam there in the town of Oroville where the water again splits and goes into Thermalito After Bay and the Feather River. Just coming over the busted part of the spillway, you can see quite a bit of erosion off to the side of the spillway, but also the bottom section of the spillway is still in place. Those big diffuser blocks are still in place at the very bottom of the spillway. Quite a bit of erosion and quite a bit of head cutting up the spillway. I would say that's almost halfway up the spillway now. We'll get another good look at it from the other angle here shortly.
The capacity that it had before it broke.
So we're looking at approximately 40,000 cubic feet per second coming down the spillway. There's another 12,000 cubic feet per second coming out of the powerhouse at the base of the dam, which you can see in this picture.
537.
For a total of about 50,000 cubic feet per second. 537 However, the influx was still over 100,000 cubic feet per second.
Water.
I wouldn't join the crowd on 99 necessarily.
So as of 8 a.m. On Saturday, the 11th of February, the water finally reached the top of the emergency spillway and began spilling over.
Near Nelson Avenue wasn't looking so high.
First time in the dam's history.
You know, use your best judgment on.
Now you can get a better view of just how far off that erosion is away from the spillway gates or the dam itself.
I want to ask you one more question, Mr. LaMalfa.
Sure.
You can get a good view of the emergency spillway between the regular spillway and that parking lot. That's over 1,000 feet long. In this picture, the water's still a couple of feet from the top. It should allow for a fairly gentle pour over the top of that.
77,600,000
Fewer tractors have gone ahead and cleared some of the
cubic yards.
area just below the emergency spillway, and they've actually poured some fast-setting concrete right at the base of that spillway to try and minimize the erosion. But that's the big concern going forward, is how much erosion are we going to get coming out of this emergency spillway. Also, 2 sets of high-tension power lines running across here, and PG&E is watching those closely to see if those footings get undermined. So all this erosion is going to end up in the Thermalito pool at the base of the dam here and can be cleaned up later. Should be no problem. And of course, this Thermalito diversion pool has a dam on it there in Oroville to prevent this erosion, all this debris from going further downstream. Despite the fact that the flows over the emergency dam would be completely uncontrolled with 5 days of good weather and the inflows slowly decreasing, everything should be just fine.
Fair chance that how this is going to come out of the investigation. But that all said, today, tomorrow, the next 72 hours are
found heading out of Oroville. No traffic is being allowed in southbound lanes. No southbound lanes